Hello and welcome back, or just hello and welcome. In this video we're gonna turn this thing here. If you saw the other video, you know what this is. This is a really crappy wah pedal from Amazon that I don't recommend that you get. In today's video we're gonna turn the enclosure into a pedal that every guitarist needs and that you can't really buy, or at least I don't see it available. So if you want it, you're gonna have to make it yourself. Now, if you have a volume pedal, you can turn that into this, so you don't have to get this pedal or anything like that. I just happen to be able to get 2 videos out of 1 pedal, so it's a win-win for me. Before we begin, we need to have a serious talk. There is something, and I know you're not gonna like this. If you play guitar, you don't want to hear this, but there is a control on your guitar that you're not using, at least most aren't using it, and it's actually really important. It's one of those things that can really help you a lot. It's a small little feature and you really should be using it. And I'm of course talking about the tone control. I know it's an unpopular opinion to state the fact, but you need to use it. Even if you think you don't need to use it, you need to start using it. And I think one of the reasons why people don't like to use it is because it's on your guitar and you don't want to have to fiddle around with it on your guitar. It's a really good thing to have, but you don't want to mess with it. And so if you had it at your feet, then maybe it would be cool. So we're going to make a wah pedal that lets you, instead of wah, lets you control a tone pot. It's going to be super easy to make and I'll show you. And I'll later also show you how to set it up with your amp so it sounds nice. This is my advice to you. As a guitar player, start thinking as a mixer or as a recording artist or something. If you play live or if you make music or play in a band or you know, do anything like that, and it's not just sitting around at home playing, you need to be able to lift your music. You need to sit in the pocket, sit in the mix, but you need to also be able to just lift yourself out of it and sort of exist over the music. This is the sort of things that guitarists struggles with a lot, and I've done that as well. The easiest way to solve this is to, instead of always being at 100%, because you can't go any further than 100%, instead be at around 80%, and then you can go to 100%, or you can go to 50%, and there you can find your thing. And so if you have a tone control and you can set your amp up to sound nice with the tone, and then you can just push through the mix by just releasing your tone knob and rolling it off and turning the tone off, basically, you can just sort of push yourself through. And it's a beautiful thing and it works really nice. I'll show you the amp and we'll try to set it up a little bit to work with this pedal. But first we have to solder a couple of wires. This is a super easy thing to do. And if you have a volume pedal, everything exists inside and you just have to add a couple of parts to it. And hopefully you can figure that out by just looking at what I'm doing and opening your pedal up. So let's jump into the overhead view camera and wire this up, okay? And hopefully we can still be friends afterwards, even though I told you to use your tone knob. Alright, so here is the pedal, and I've already put in the jacks. You can see them right there. This is a passive thing, and we're building. You don't need any power. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 wires across here. I'm going to reuse a couple of wires from this thing and just try to have a little bit of fun with that. So I'm just going to cut this off a bit, and then I'm going to strip these wires back. There we go. That's not very hard to do. I think you can do that. It's just a wire from one jack to the other, a ground and a lead. You can see there how they go. That inner ring is the ground and the tip thing here is the lead signal. Now the next thing we need is a pot. Here I have a 500k pot and I have a resistor on it from the last leg there going to the back here. I took this out of a guitar, so it's just the same as a tone in a guitar. And we need this thing that we took out from we need that thing. And we also need the washer thing. Let's see if we can find one that fits, because I seem to have misplaced it. It's always good to have a bucket of extra parts. So we need to add a ground wire to this on the back here. Let's just take this thing here and untangle it. We'll cut it to size in a moment. But But first, let's just get a little bit of solder on it. Like that. Now, we can put this here and this here. See if it works. Does it fit? I think it will. Just bend this a little bit. Something like that. Let's screw this on. And it comes with this wheel attachment, which we need to just press this into. It's a little bit hard to do, but just put a little bit force into it and just try to get it on straight. Something like that. Now, when this is all the way there, the tone will be engaged, and when it's all the way there, the tone will not be. So you have to make sure you have this in the right position. Now, you can see how it moves when I press it down. Or at least I hope you can see it. So I'm going to unwind it like so. And I'm going to take these two screws and screw in here. And then I'm going to adjust this to just be a little bit more tight so that there is no wiggle room for things to go bad. Like so. We'll be able to roll in the tone. And we might have to adjust this to get a desired, but we want it basically to be like this and be nothing, and then we want to roll it in. And it could potentially be difficult to do, and we might have to change the pot around a little bit and just tweak it, because now I have it at max. But anyway, here we have two wires now, and we don't need the red one, it just happens to be here. The black one needs to come over here, so we need a little bit extra, something like that. Cut it off. Try not to cut the red one. That's a waste. We can use it for something else. And we'll pre-tin this one as well. I hope you can see I'm moving this one over here to the ground just as the other one. And I'm connecting it together with the other ground. And now basically that's there. And now we have this here. I was hoping that was long enough, but it isn't. So we're gonna switch it out for a red wire. You could splice in a wire, but I just don't think it's worth it. This one over here to the lead, and we'll pre-tin that wire as well, and we'll put it over here to the lead. And if you want to, you can put it to the other lead. It doesn't matter, as long as things are connected. It really doesn't matter. It's a very simple little circuit, something like that. Not perfect, but decent. So there we have it. Now I'm gonna go and play this, and I'm gonna adjust this pot here, because I obviously want there to be a range in this where I actually am getting something. Because of how pots work, I might not notice anything at all, and I might have to just move this back a little bit and move that pot around a little bit, you know, without this, and just fine tune it so that I can get the signal, basically, because the movement of the pot isn't perfect. So I need to just try to find where the pot needs to sit for the movement of the foot switch, or whatever you want to call this thing. But I'll be back real soon. Okay, so here's my guitar. As you can see, it's plugged in to the pedal right there, and it goes into the amp, which is right here. Okay, so here's the amp right now. And before we jump into this, I just want to say, you should really try to find an experiment and find a capacitor that you really like for this. I'm just sort of using things I have laying around, and I'm sort of just throwing this out, and it's just to prove a concept. It's not to be, you know, do exactly as I did and just, you know. But anyway, I hope you understand what it is I'm trying to say. Anyway, here's the guitar right now, and to fix this sort of thing that we have, I put the pedal down so that it's super woolly. Because if I clean it up, it sounds nicer. But the idea is to play like this, and then just adjust your settings here. So I feel like this is, you know, I don't need that much bass. I'm gonna roll that off a little bit, but I need more mids and I need more highs. And obviously what pickup you use and things like that matters too. And, 'cause, And if you have other pedals, you know, you need to adjust them as well, like maybe do some EQ settings and stuff like that. So like, let's pretend that like this is a part of the song, you know. And then I'm gonna jump into the chorus, and the guitar is supposed to pop out a little bit extra, so. Well, that was a terrible playing, but I hope you can get the idea that like. And obviously, I'm using this to go from max to, you know, from nothing to max and from max to nothing. You can always find, come on pedal, something in between. I'm trying to show the like extremes of like, but you can sort of have it in between, and you can adjust it so that the in between is the max as well. So that like, I prefer to have, you know, have it somewhere in between so that I can go, you know, if I play something, you know, I can go. Maybe have this as my rhythm guitar or something. And then maybe the singer wants to do some spoken word thing or something, then I really roll it back. But then my guitar solo kicks in and I'm like. Or something. Obviously, this is just to prove a concept, as I've already said, and it's not, you know, a final product or anything. But spending the time to finalize this is really good, because then you have it in a pedal, and you can use the pedal with any guitar and with any amp, and you don't have to like fiddle around. And also, then you figure out what transistors you need in your guitars, maybe, and you can go that way as well. Plus, you can play around with it. You can do things like. You know, so it is really a cool thing to have. It sounds boring, it sounds stupid, and I realize some of you are like, I don't need a tone. I hope you understand what it is I'm trying to say. I feel like I'm saying it in a convoluted way, but just, you can find where you want to be. So if you find the middle sweet spot, you can play all your guitar there, and then you can just sort of brighten it up or darken it up. And you can sonically move about in an interesting way and sort of think of where you want your guitar to be in the space of what it is you're creating. And so by moving around like that, you can really push your guitar. You know, if most of the song is in a sort of dark place and then you just push it into the brightness, it will feel to anyone listening like, oh, the song came alive. And that's, you know, it's subtle details that makes the song and that makes, you know, your performance cooler. Because if you're at 100% all the time, there is nowhere to go. You've hit the roof. But if you're at 50, 80, you know, somewhere there in the middle, then you can go lower and really like lean back and be like, oh, now we're taking it slow. or you can push it into overdrive, and you know, and this works good with pedals as well. You can use this to soften up an overdrive or a distortion pedal. Maybe we'll do that in another video if you guys are interested in seeing more of this. I've been rambling on for way too long, but just trust me, try this and then set your rig to a darker tone, so that like you try to brighten up the darker tone by balancing it out on the amp and your other pedals, and then just push it into even more brightness by moving your foot, and you will feel the lift. I feel like I wasn't able to really show you in this, but maybe it's because I wasn't plugging in a bunch of pedals and used this small little practice amp, but hopefully you get it. Having a tone knob is like one of the best things, and you really need to start using it. All the things I did in this video you can do with your tone on your guitar, the actual tone knob. I've rambled on long enough. I feel like I've beaten this dead horse with a stick. Sorry if I was over explaining things. Talk to me in the comments below. If you like the video, like it. If you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you subscribed. I have a lot of other guitar pedals, you name it, things, stuff, guitar related, music related, coming. So yeah, anyway, until next time, stay awesome and cool and go and build this thing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.